Hello,
Hey, how's it going?
how are you?
I'm great. I'm great.
Fine, fine. We are very happy that you are with me today.
Well, thanks so
Welcome.
much. Thanks so much for having me. This is Farouk, right?
Yes, this is Farouk
All right. Well, I'm Marco.
from
I've
Roma.
been I'm Marco.
Yeah,
I've been talking to you on Instagram.
great, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So let's begin our our interview. So we will talk about your club, about Roma this season, about historical, and all of this. Okay,
Sounds good.
great. So let's talk about your club, your beginning, your creation, activities, and all.
Sure. Yeah. We started in 2014, and my brother, my dad, and my best friend, we were trying to watch some games at a bar, and we've been following Roma our entire lives. My dad's from Rome. And so we just started putting some stuff on Facebook, and then we got contacted by our friend Tad. He lives in he was from Iowa, but he was just moved into DC from Rome, and he was looking to start the club. So once he got on board, we started to make shirts, and we started talking to different sponsors. And soon, what is it? 6 years later, we have like 50 club members and big games. We have shirts, we make shirts, we're making
Right.
scarves,
Great.
and all
Yes.
the good stuff, man. It's a lot of fun. It's honestly a second family.
Yes. So you are the official club
Yes.
since when? 2000.
Uh, s- since the beginning, we signed up with UTR, Unione Tifosi Romanisti, and we wanted to make sure that we were able to use the logo and everything and be inside the community as well. So they've been great to us, and they let us send Alfieri to games. Are you guys part of UTR too?
No, with the IRC.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes. Since
Great.
last year. It was since last year. We have
Awesome.
since 7 years now. We watch the games together,
Yeah.
and from last year we decided to have an official club and begin as an official club.
That's awesome, man. So how did you become a Roma fan?
Since the last Scudetto, the truth, it was since
Yeah.
the last Scudetto, the night of the last Scudetto.
Amazing, man.
I watched some games in the last Scudetto from, and it was a love story that began
Yeah.
with the
Those
last
were the
Scudetto.
those were the
Yes,
good day. Those were the good days, man.
yes, yes, and because Totti also.
Oh my goodness, with the hair, with the beautiful hair.
Yes, yes, Batstuta and Cafu and all.
Oh my goodness. Every player was a legend. I can't
Yes,
believe how many legends were on that team.
yes, yes. And you?
I mean, I became a Roma fan since I was, basically since I was born because my dad, both my parents are from Rome, and my dad used to follow the team around the country. He was a big fan all throughout his life. And then one year, uh, his best friend, who has a Roma club as well, um, basically said, "Why don't you start a Roma club in Washington D.C.? It's like one of the biggest cities in the world." And I said, "Yeah, I think we need to do it." And then we went after it. And there's so many people that have lived in Rome in DC that are from Italy, so it's been
Yes,
very easy to recruit.
yes. Great. And what about your activities? Watching matches together and too?
Yeah, so we watch games together. We have barbecues. We play soccer games and tournaments. Last year we played in the Champions League for all the supporters clubs in Washington D.C. and we actually won. We won the Scudetto, the only thing that Roma's won in like 10 years. And it was great. But we hang out. We go. We don't just watch games. Like I said, it's a family. Even in the summer when there's no games, we get together. We watch old games. We we all, it's a small city, so we're able to all
Yes.
hang out all the time. It's great.
Yes, that's great. And you are in contact with other Roma clubs in America. We are in contact with Roma Club New York,
Yep.
and you are in contact with other Roma
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah, we are in contact with Roma Club New York and Roma Club Philadelphia. A couple years, I mean, I think it was like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. We actually, when the Italian teams were coming to the U.S., we actually went to a big event that was sponsored first by Roma Club Philly when they played against Inter in Philadelphia for the International Champions Cup, and then we went to go see them play against Tottenham in New York. So that was a lot of fun. Balbo was there, so we hung out with him. Man, it
Mm.
was so yeah. So it's great. All the
Yes,
Roma
it was a
clubs,
great opportunity. Yes,
yeah, all the
yes,
Roma clubs are really good. Obviously, New York club is huge. Philadelphia club is very active, and we're there too. All three of us, we're very close. So because we're close in vicinity as well.
yes, that's great. And you have been in Olympico before?
Yes,
Your
yeah.
club?
So yeah, I've been to a fair amount of games, but with the actual Roma club, what happened is a couple years ago, our friend Tad, who helped start the club, he got married in Rome, and he got married the same weekend that they had the derby. So we all went for the Roma Lazio game. Actually, I shouldn't say that dirty word. Other team from Rome. We went to go see the derby, and then we actually all went together the next year, but we don't bring a lot of luck because I think we lost the first one and I think we tied the second one, unfortunately. But it was still a lot of fun.
Yes, that's great. For me, I was in the last derby against Lazio,
Yeah.
the Olympico. Yes, I
Which one? Which
assisted the
one?
last derby.
The
The
most
last
recent one?
derby.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So it went well for
last.
us.
Yes, some of us were in the UV games this season. UV game this season.
Oh, really? Oh no, wait. The last derby was a tie, right? We should have won, but I think it was a tie.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah, that was a
it
crazy
was
game,
a
man.
great game. Yes, it was a great game.
A lot of pali, a lot of posts.
Yes, it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you so have you guys gone to watch a lot of games in Italy?
No, not so much. We have been in the Europa League games in Turkey against Başakşehir this year,
Uh-huh.
and we have this is in the game against Juve, and I watched the game against Lazio in the derby. So three games this season. Yes.
That's great. That's awesome, man.
And what about Roma this season?
Oh
Results
man.
and
Ah man, it's been crazy. But look, I keep telling everybody the biggest issue has been consistency, because I love what Fonseca has been doing. But I was trying to count how many players got injured this season. It almost feels like every single player got injured at some point, even if it was a couple weeks. But there was a lot of major injuries. I think I counted like 10 to 12 big injuries. Pellegrini got injured for a while with his foot. Obviously, Zaniolo got injured.
yes,
Perotti was injured for a while. Under. I mean, Spinazzola, of course, he's always injured. Mkhitaryan got injured. You
yes,
know, I mean, every single player, it seems like, got injured. And
yes. It
now
was
Paul
big
Lopez gets
number.
injured.
Yes, it was a big
So
number of injuries.
Yeah, so
Yes,
all things considered, I think that the fact that Roma is in fifth place, they have a decent lead on the sixth place position, but I look, Atalanta this year has been very good.
yes,
Obviously, the other
yes,
team from Rome has been very good. Uh, and Juventus and has been very good as well. So and Inter and Juventus and OTFR, the other team from Rome, they're just having a great season. So I can't be too angry, but obviously I'm very disappointed with this bad luck and injuries. Like we can't get it going. So
Yes,
it's
that's
it's a,
true. Yes. I like the term the other club of Rome.
what's that? Yeah, the other team from Rome, man. We started that OTFR. We started that with our podcast. We had a podcast called Curva America, and we did that for 3 years. It was a lot of fun. That's another way we got in touch with all the different clubs, and we came up with this term OTFR. Every single time we said that dirty word, we would get in trouble. So it's we don't we don't
That's
we don't we don't say that name anymore.
the other club of Rome. Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, it's like the season's been challenging. Obviously, the COVID-19 has made things even more challenging, most likely. I saw the Roma team. They took pay cuts. You know, they're trying to do their best, but look, what needs to happen at this point is that Pallotta needs to sell to Friedkin, and I'm hoping that Friedkin comes with a lot of money and is able to keep the team afloat because it's just
Yes.
going to be very hard, you know, and especially
Yes.
with the
That's
the
true.
prem. I
Yes.
was kind of reading some articles. The Premier League, you know, they have all this money, and you know they're going to start going around and buying players from all these clubs that
Yes.
don't have as much money, you know. So I hope that that
Yes.
we can do
Yes.
that, you know.
Yes. We have a question from our friend Yusuf. What do you think about Friedkin?
Ah, man, you know, it's always hard to say with these owners because you want to see how invested they're willing to be in the club. You know, obviously Pallotta has had his troubles. The biggest problems that I've had with Pallotta is that he just, for some reason, just didn't go to Roma a lot, you know, so he didn't seem very connected. But he's also done some good things, specifically with, you know, the commercial aspect of
Yes.
it. He got us Nike. You know,
Yes.
we've been able to grow as an international presence. Some good players have come up too, and I think Friedkin. You know, I'm hoping that he comes and recognizes that you have to be a little bit more present. You got to be a little bit more of a connected owner. And I mean, most importantly, I hope that he's willing to invest serious money into a into the club because it's going to need it with the COVID-19 situation. You know what I mean?
Yes. And why we haven't win any title with Palota? Why?
Look, man, I think you know, first and foremost, this you know, it's just been challenging with the lack of consistency. I mean, when we did have consistency, you know, the couple years ago when we got very far in you know, in Champions League, we've had some pretty good teams, you know, lots of second place finishes, lots of third place, some worse finishes, but I mean, Juventus has been amazing too. You know, it's hard to say that. I mean, they've won, you know, all these years, are they 8 years in a row or something, 7 years, and it's just like, you know, it's hard to say, but you know, they've just had such a tough squad that, you know, the fact that we haven't been able to get that victory, in a way, I mean, like, you know, Pallotta could have probably bought a few bigger players, but you know, we've had good teams, you know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's tough to say. I just think we need consistency, and the injuries have always been a factor. You know, I heard that they changed the pitch at Trigoria. They did all these different things to try. They fired the whole staff, the training staff. But if we can't stay fit, you know, it's very difficult because we don't have the same depth as Inter or Juve, you know, so you just need to be fit. Uh, we've had some very good seasons, but Juventus has been very tough too, you know.
Yes. For me, Palota has a good work in communication and commercial and marketing and all. It was very good in this.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. At least that, man. I mean, like I said, he made us more internationally, you know,
Yes.
known. So you know, he's did some smart things. I think he modernized the club a little bit, but again, you know, the people of Rome, you know, Romanisti, there's a lot of passion, man, and it's like a family, it's like
Yeah,
it's different than American sports. In American sports, okay, my basketball team's not doing well, but my football team is doing good, and my hockey team is doing good. You know what I mean? Or my baseball team is doing good. But in Italy, everything is Roma. It's so like you can't just be kind of there, kind of not. Maybe
yeah,
you show up for a Champions League game.
yeah,
And then again, I think one of the challenging parts too is the Totti situation was very challenging. Obviously, the De
yeah,
Rossi situation was very challenging, and both of those two situations were, he did not do, in my opinion, the best thing he could have done. But what was hard is, what Totti was 40, De Rossi was, probably could have played a couple more years, but they were kind of towards the end of their careers. And Palotta's mentality has always been to modernize the club, to like kind of like make it grow, this and that. And so it's just hard, man, because you have these
yeah.
legends, and just the mentality is different.
Yes.
What do
I
you
think
what do you
also that, yes, I think also that we changed a lot of coaches, a lot of directors, not like the other team of Roma with
No,
Inzaghi for 3 or 4 years, but we
right.
changed a lot of with Di Francesco, Fonseca, Rudy Garcia, Spalletti. We
Yeah,
changed a lot. Yes,
a lot, man, a lot. Too
yes,
too
that's
much, too much, because yeah,
yeah,
Ranieri, like, I mean, like,
yeah,
it's just very hard when you try to have a long, when you build that consistency. I mean, look at Juventus, man. Like, I don't want to talk about them anymore, but they have the same players in the defense and Buffon for years. You know what I mean? That makes a big difference, man. And that when we went to the Champions League semifinals, that core group of players, Nengolan, Strootman, De Rossi,
yeah,
Jacko, all these players, they were there, Manolas, they were there for a long time. And that makes a big difference. Florenzi, obviously. And
yeah.
then you have the young players, but like you can't have a team winning a Scudetto when your best players are 20 years old, 21 years old, 19 years old. You know what I mean? Like you need the experience.
Yes, yes, yes. Like a youth club. Yes.
Yeah,
What
right.
about Fonseca this year?
What's that?
What about Fonseca?
Oh man, Fonseca, he's so cool, man. I love Fonseca. I really do. I think that he is he's a very good coach. I love his mentality. He's very passionate. He's kind of he doesn't hold back, and I like his playing style. I know it's pretty aggressive, and I think he's a good motivator. It's always tough to know because we've had a lot of coaches that have had good half of a season, and then in the second half of the season maybe not as strong. So I think it was really important to see how Fonseca was going to react in the second half of the season. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see that because of COVID-19, but maybe now we get to see it again. It's all about consistency. So Fonseca, everybody was very excited at first. Then he had all of these injuries. And so I was really excited to see how he was going to, maintain the form or take the team forward. I think he's the man for the job. What do you think about that?
Yes, maybe. But we have lost a lot of games this year.
Yeah,
Maybe because the injuries and maybe because Fonseca is new in Calcio, it was a problem. But I think that he must he can be with us next year, next season. For me, my favorite is Spalletti. I love Spalletti. It's
yeah.
fun. Yes, he's my favorite.
He he was it was so funny, man, with this bald head every
Yeah,
single time that he was so animated. But he is, look, to his credit, man. Uh, the whole Totti situation was very challenging. It was going to be very hard for him to survive that situation. But I honestly think that Spalletti is one of the top coaches. He obviously has shown that he is one of the top coaches. Again, I want to see a full season under Fonseca before I make a full judgment on him. But I think I have a good feeling about him.
Yes. We have a question from our friend Hamza. It's about the Palota and that he's not in Rome for all the year, so it disturbed the team.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, yeah, like we just talked about the fact that, you know, Romani and Romanisti, it's all about passion, man. And Roma is everything. You know, if you own the club, you know, you can't just be, you know, it's not just the business, you know. I mean, I understand that that's the way that global football is kind of going, that it's, you know, the business mentality, making money and, you know, but this is a more than a team, you know, this is a family. And if you have an owner that is not even coming to games ever. You know, I understand if you can't make all the games, but like big games, you know, you definitely have to be there, you know. And then more communication, man, with like the De Rossi situation and the Totti situation. My goodness, man, it's like it's just so challenging, man. It seems so obvious, but he.
Yes.
So yeah, Palotta. I'm gonna put this here, man. So yeah, I think Palotta is you know, like we said, he's done some good things, but he really killed himself by not like ever being in Rome or ever helping, you know, being at the matches. I think that it made a big difference.
Yes. And what about Zaniolo? We heard a lot of rumors that we will sell the Zaniolo next mercato and all. Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Zaniolo, Pellegrini. We must sell some players
Yeah,
because of COVID situation. So
yeah,
what you think about Zaniolo? Then we will talk about Pellegrini.
yeah.
Zaniolo.
Oh man, you know it's tough. Like, you know, when you're a team like Roma, you have to win when you can, you know, because like, you know, that, and I hope this changes hopefully with, you know, maybe Friedkin and some better results. But like, look, Zaniolo's not Romano. You always knew that he was going to go probably move on. I was hoping that he wasn't going to move on so soon, you know. But who knows, man? He just got this injury, so I think we might actually. I think that'll he'll probably be around for another season or so, just because, you know, there's a lot of, I don't know, unless other clubs are going to try to buy him at a better deal. He's definitely one of the stars of the future, and I really hope he stays at Roma for at least another year or two, so that we can, you know, reap the benefits of a little bit. But he's a magician.
Yes, he's the best now in the team.
One of them, yeah, for sure. I mean, and look, the one good thing about COVID-19, which is, you know, bad to say, but is, you know, I think we might be able to see Zaniolo in the Euros. You know, I think he's gonna break out, and then I don't know if we'll see him at all this rest of this season, but you know, at least in the Euros, we'll get to see Zaniolo because I was sad about that when he got injured.
Yes, that's. And what about Pellegrini? You see that he's the future Capitano Futuro or the number 10 Futuro. Or, I
I
think
really
that.
look, it's hard to say, man, because especially with this whole situation, but I love Pellegrini. I've always loved Pellegrini, and I know that sometimes Pellegrini gives the ball away too much. You know, but the bottom line is that Pellegrini, he's the kind of player that he can get a lot of assists. He can get you a lot of goals because he takes chances, you know, and as long as he's not losing the ball in the defensive half of the field, I'm okay with that because we need a player that is, you know, kind of like Under, you know, like gets the ball and he takes a chance. He goes and tries to score. And Pellegrini's like that. Is he going to be Capitan Futuro? Man, I really hope so. Um,
Romano.
if Yeah, Romano, but look, here's one thing I'm going to say. Like, I think if Pallotta would have stayed, uh, that chance would have been less because it looks like Pallotta didn't really, you know, take that for he. I think he took that for granted a little bit, especially with the way he's been dealing with Florenzi and everything too.
Yeah.
But you know, I think Pellegrini. I don't know. I think it's probably 60-40 that he ends up staying. The whole time because it's just things have changed, you know? Things have really changed.
Yes. We have a question here from Hamza. It's about Bradley, the ex-player of Roma. What
Oh
about
yeah.
him? What do you think? It was a good transfer for Roma?
I think Bradley was a good player for Roma. Was he ever going to be like Nangolan? No. Like Nangolan is better. What was good about Bradley is he brought more American presence, and he and that was helpful. There was the connection to the U.S. He also scored some big goals. I think I remember the big one was against Udinese.
Yes.
I
With
he
Rudy Garcia.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I love how he learned the language very fast. Um, Look, man, I mean, I always like Bradley. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but he wasn't like a superstar, but he's a good player, you know. He played at Chievo for a little bit too. Like he knew the Serie A pretty well.
Yes. And what about the case of Florenzi?
Ah, man. That's sad, man. When he got put to right back years ago, it's I don't know. I never thought he was a bad player, even at right back. I think people say that he's a bad player. He's had some bad injuries, man. And what, he tore his ACL twice. I mean,
Yes.
that, like, everybody says he doesn't know how to defend, but like, let's like remember that a guy gets two ACLs. I mean, that's a big thing. And plus, he's had some like amazing moments for Roma. He's been a
Yes.
soldier, a leader. And look, I'm just sad that to see another Roman kind of get passed on. I
And he
think
gonna
that,
go to Barcelona.
yeah. Oh my God, that goal was incredible. But he scored a lot of good goals. He scored a bicycle kick, right? Well, who was that against? Was that against Udinese too? I don't remember.
I think,
Uh,
yes. I think.
but like Florenzi was amazing, man. But he, again, what are you gonna do? You get two ACL injuries. You get put out of your position because he was more of a midfielder. He was just, he tried to do everything he could for the team, and he was good at scoring, man. I just think that maybe the wrong position, but also unlucky with injuries, bad timing. What do you think about Florenzi? You think we should have kept him?
No, I didn't like his game.
You didn't like
Uh,
his game?
no, and we have a lot of players in his position this year. For me, it isn't a good player as a right back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I mean, he
not
wasn't.
a very expensive player.
Yeah, he was. He
He
wasn't
a
in
lot
his.
of
He wasn't in his
mistakes.
position.
Yes, he make a lot of mistakes for
Yeah,
me. But he's Romano, and
yeah.
only him and Pellegrini in this team.
I
A
know,
lot.
man.
Yes, we lost a lot of players.
I was excited when Politano was thinking about coming. There was another Roman.
Yes, but Palota is against all Romano players.
For some reason, it seems like it, man. I think it's like the whole mentality. It's kind of the business mentality. Um, so it's tough for Romans, but look, I don't know. Look at it, Hamza. Pulisic can be a good
Pulisic.
trend. Yeah,
Yeah,
Pulisic would be great, man. I would love him at Roma, man. I
yeah.
don't know, man. That
Player,
would,
yes.
I don't think we can pay, I don't think we have that kind of money.
Yes, this is the problem
He's
all the time.
amazing. He's
Yes,
amazing, man. He's very
yes.
good. So what
So
about
what?
Tunis? What you got any Tunisian players that are that have some potential that Roma should be looking at?
No, I don't think so. Uh, this time,
They're all what I think they're all playing in like France or like maybe like England a little bit. I don't know. I was looking.
Yes, we have some players in some French clubs. We have Arab players in Roma this year, Benatia and Salah. We have Arab players in Roma, but I don't think that we have a Tunisian player that he can play in Rome this year or
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
season. Yes. What
yeah.
about the stadium? The case of stadium?
Oh my God, man. I don't even I knew you were gonna ask me about the stadium, man. What can you do, man? It's like how many years, is this gonna be a thing, you know? It's never gonna I don't know. I don't want to say it's never going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen with Pallotta. I think what I think with Friedkin, I think that that was maybe going to be something that was in the deal. You know, that he was going to come if he was sure that there was going to be a stadium. So maybe that's slowing things down. I you know, I feel like we talked about it for 3 years, and I don't know at this point what else needs to happen. You know, I feel like we had the scene to go, the scene, the syndicate. You know, over in Rome, I thought they were okay with it, and then they weren't okay with it. You know, and then you know, so many times we said we were going to go, and then we didn't go. So I don't know. I don't know what to
Yes,
say. What do you
yes.
think?
Well, the problem that we see a lot of new stadiums, the stadium of Sassuolo, the stadium of Udinese, the stadium of Juve. Now we heard about the new stadium of Cagliari,
Yeah,
about Milano, but
yeah.
the problem is also is all the time is the stadium of Rome. I don't know why. Only Rome.
Poli- Politics, man.
Yes, I think that the other team of Roma has a problem with this.
You think
I
so?
think.
You
Yes,
think that
I think.
You think Lotito's doing
Yes,
something?
yes, I think.
Yeah, maybe, maybe.
Yeah. He has a lot of relations, and I think that is correct. So, what about the mercato this year and the job of Petraki last mercato and the mercato of summer? And
I was uh I was happy with the mercato, honestly. Again, you have to always look at you know, you got to be realistic, you know. We're not going to bring in Pulisic, we're not going to bring in these mega stars. But we are Roma. We have a, you know, we're an important club, and I was sad to see Sharawi go. But you know, the players that came in this season, I think they've done a fine job. And Petraki is, I like his mentality. I just I think it's all going to take time, man. He also got, you know, he kind of tried to get rid of some. He had a big task. I mean, Schick was a big thing. Like, you know, like he had to get rid of a bunch of players. And I think he's done as well as he could with what he could. But um, do I wish that we were able to bring in maybe one big player? You know, yeah. I mean, we probably could have gotten another big player, but um, you know, I think Petraki, we have to see. It's another situation. We have to be a little bit patient because you know, the whole thing. I think this Friedkin thing has been going on for a long time. You know, so in the background. So I think that you know, that's a big question mark. How much money is Petraki going to have to work with? You know?
yes, that's the problem. Yes, I think that Petraki make a good job after a catastrophic mercato with Mochi.
Oh my
You
God,
know,
yeah. Oh my
yes,
God, yeah.
it was
Monchi, man.
terrible.
Yeah, he brought in some players that just flopped, man. It's so Petraki had a lot of work to do. He had to clean up a lot of work, you know.
Yes,
Uh, and you know, I'm struggling to even remember all the big things that happened, but I just remember that, you know, Petraki really just like he had to clean up a lot, you know, and then he had to like try to steady the ship a little bit, and he did that with some smart um, you know, loan deals with Smalling, Mkhitaryan. I mean, those were great deals at the
yes,
end. You know, I think bringing in Spinazzola was not a bad move. I actually liked, you know, bringing in Zappacosta, but obviously he got injured right away. So, like, the injuries are another problem, you know. So, you know, not bad. I mean, Pau Lopez, amazing, you know. So
yes,
there's been some good moves, and Fonseca, you know, I think is the right man for job again. So Petraki, you know, he's got good style too. I like his style, the glasses with the hat.
yes. I like him. I like
He
him
looks
very
like
much.
he look like
Yes,
He kind of looks like cool
yes.
Spalletti, you know.
Yeah, I like him. We have a question here from Hamza. It's about free transfer. We heard about Pedro and Vertonghen from Tottenham, and we heard a lot of that
Yeah, I know.
these
Yeah, I
days.
mean, I read some stuff on Pedro, man. Those would be some good free transfers for sure. Um, look, I think we always need help in the defense. You know, I mean, right now, I really like the Smalling Mancini partnership, but you know, you have Fazio and Juan Jesus that you know, they're slow, they make mistakes, you know. I you know, look, I think that if we were able to bring in somebody like Vertonghen, that would be nice. I also
Yes,
saw some, you know, some other players, Bustos, you know, I saw some other players, but Pedro would be very nice, just because, you know, again, Zaniolo got injured, and Under, you know, he's fragile. Clivert is a little bit inconsistent. I would like to see somebody to be able to replace Jacko, you know, because obviously Kalinic didn't get the job done,
yes,
and Jacko, he's been amazing for Roma, man, but he's
yes.
getting old, you know.
Yes, I will ask you about Zeko, another striker for Rome. For me, I prefer Belotti from Torino, but now we heard about Moiskin from Everton. What do you think about Zeko and the next season with Zeko or not? You know?
Yeah, you know, every time people start saying that Jacko is, you know, going to move on, he's not going to. I believe that was another thing that Petraki did. Didn't he extend Jacko to 2022?
Yes,
So I like Jacko a lot, man, and I think that he could be a great, you know, a good leader, a good mentor for somebody, because he can do everything. I mean, he's kind of slow, but he can hold the ball up. You know, he can score, he can header. He's a great player. He's also pretty good at passing. So I think that Belotti would be great, but he's going to cost too much money. I think Moise Keane is great, but he's very young still. So
yes,
you know, I don't think you replace a veteran with a player that is not fully proven yet. You know what I mean? So, you know, if you told me that we're going to bring Belotti in, and, you know, Dzeko's what, 35 or something like that. So if that, yeah, I mean, I would replace Belotti with Dzeko, for sure. But I don't think that's realistic, because
yes,
I think Belotti costs too much money.
yes, I think so. So I think that if Zeko will be with us next season, we can't buy Belotti. Even with the personality of Dzeko and Belotti, so I prefer Moiskin if we will have Dzeko next year.
That would be
That's the
great.
problem.
Yeah, I mean I mean, if we could have Dzeko and Moise Kean, that'd be great. But yeah, he's getting kind of old, and we need a plan, because Kalinic is not the plan, obviously.
Yes,
But we need somebody, because Dzeko at some point he's not going to perform at the same level, you know. So
yes,
I yeah. What do you think? You like Dzeko?
yes. But I think that we must change our strikers the next year. You know, Dzeko has a good season with us, with a lot of goals, with a lot of good moments. But I think it's the time to change.
Yeah.
Dzeko is old now. He's older now. I think that we must have another striker. Hamza talk about Patrick Schick,
No, thank
another
you.
chance.
No, I'm done. I'm done with Chick, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I look, look, uh Patrick Schick, I don't think he's a bad player. I just, for whatever reason, in Rome, he can't perform. Maybe it's the pressure, maybe it's the language barrier. I don't know what it is. No, it's probably not the language. He did very well at Sampdoria.
Yeah,
Maybe it's something, you know, maybe he just doesn't have confidence. And
yeah,
you know, that's a big factor. If you think that the fans don't think you're a good player, then you're not going to be able to do well. Because obviously he's a good player. He did very well at Sampdoria when he was super young. And, you know, when we got him, that was huge. Everybody was happy when Patrick Schick got
yeah,
bought. Everybody said, great, you know, Roma's taking a big chance, but it's worth it.
yeah,
And he was the most expensive transfer ever. I think that maybe was a mistake,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, everybody was looking to buy him. And, you know, right now he's showing that he's a good player at Red Bull, right? He's doing good. So, but I would not take him back at,
I
I
think
would
it
just,
was pressure. I think it was pressure, like the transfer of Iturbi. You remember?
Oh
It
my
was
God,
the same
Iturbe.
problem. The same. I think that it was the same problem. For Chic, it was we buy Chic in the place of Mohamed Salah. So I think
Yeah.
pressure like that transfer of Iturbe. It was
Oh my God, Iturbe. Do you remember when Iturbe was playing for Hellas Verona, how good he was? Oh my
look
God.
at Tony with Luca Toni.
With Luca Toni. I mean, he was like one of the best players in Serie A. You know what I mean? And it's like, I cannot even believe that when he came to Roma, he was so bad. I mean, and he even scored some goals, but it's just like, it's crazy, man. Did you see that goal that he missed when he went to South America?
Yes.
Open goal? Poor guy,
Yeah.
man. His career is just over.
But when he came to Rome, he's another player.
Another player, man. That's
Yeah.
what Roma does, unfortunately, to like, because Romani are Romani, man. They're like very passionate. They whistle their players if they don't like their player, the player's not playing well. And it's tough, man. As a player, like you if you don't think that your fans believe in you, that's very tough, man. You gotta be like Balotelli, man. You don't care, about what other people think, but it's challenging, especially when maybe the coach isn't giving you the minutes, or things change with coaches, change with manager,
Yeah.
with owners. So it's all,
Yeah.
look,
That's the problem.
Jao,
Yes.
Jao
Mm.
Pedro, man. I'm seeing Kimao Giallorossi. Jao Pedro,
Yeah.
he's a little bit older, but he obviously is showing that he's very good.
Yeah. A
I mean,
great goal against Rome. A great goal against Rome.
he can do everything too. He can
Yeah.
pass, shoot, header.
Yeah.
He's very good. I like him a lot. I really like Cagliari this season, man. I
Yeah.
think that their team is just very exciting, but
Yeah.
they fell off. They fell off kind of in the last
Yeah.
10 games or so. So they're done. But they were looking good with Nengolan too. I'm happy for him.
Yes. We heard about the return of Nainggolan and the Sharawi.
Yeah.
What about them?
Um, it all depends, man. If you give me a free transfer, I'll take Nengolan. Of course, I wouldn't spend too much money on him. And then Sharawi, look, he's still on the national team. I haven't been paying attention too much to what he's doing in China, but I think he's only like 29 or something, 28, 29. He's probably still very fit,
Yeah.
and he's a good player, man. He scored some important goals for Roma. I was sad to see him go, but you can't blame the guy for taking that money. You know what I mean? He took the money because he's never going to go to Real Madrid, so he wanted to go to China for a couple of years and make a
Yeah.
lot of money.
Yes.
Um, people have to understand that this is their profession, like, you want to stay. And plus he's not like Romano, so like,
Yeah.
uh, I would have liked to see him stay, but if you got to go to
Yeah.
China and make some money, I understand that too.
For me, we need Sharawi because we Perotti with injuries, Kluivert, Jenkins Under. I
Yeah.
think that we need a good winger. That's why I am happy that Pedro can came to us. But I think that we need a good winger.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. Um, if Pedro happens, I would be extremely excited about it. Um, I think that Clivert has a lot of potential,
Yeah.
as long as he stays healthy. Because look, how old is he? Like 21, 20? I
Yes,
mean,
20.
Look, Clivert's amazing, and Under is amazing too. But what do you think about Under, Farouk? Is he going to stay?
I hope so. I hope so. He's a good player, but last season with a lot of injuries, and he's not the same like with Di Francesco in the beginning. But I hope that he can be with us with Kluivert and Zaniolo. and another wing like Pedro. Hamza talk about Carlos Perez.
I think Carlos Perez is a good player too, man. But again, it's tough to say. Well, how many games did we see Carlos Perez play? Like four? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he played, yeah, he was good, but he's so young, man. With these young players, when Zaniolo blew up last season, okay, I was telling everybody, look, guys, I'm very excited about Zaniolo too, but he can't be our best player and he can't play every single minute. He's 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like if you remember when Totti first started becoming a legend, like he had Mazzone, Mazzone didn't let him do interviews. Like, I mean, he like kept him, he didn't like play him that much. I mean, like you got to be, when you're young, man, you have to like be humble. You have to work hard. You got to stay healthy. Look, Zaniolo, I love him. I think he's an amazing player, and I hope that he becomes a legend. But he, you know, you got to be careful when you become too famous too soon. Balotelli, I think, might be a good example of that. He's a very special
yeah,
guy, but
yes.
I mean, Balotelli, how old is he now? Like 28, 29? I mean, he still has a chance to be like, a
But
great
with a
player,
lot
but
of problems.
lots of problems, man. So you got to be
Yeah.
careful. I think Zaniolo's got a good mentality. I think he's a good player. But now, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to make sure that he does the right things and he doesn't lose his mentality.
Yes. And who is your best player in this team?
I think okay, so I think Kolarov is one of the best players.
He's my
Uh,
best.
he's definitely like I think recently he hasn't, did he get injured as well? I mean, I mean, when he's playing and he's playing well, he's a just amazing player, amazing player. Dzeko has to be considered one of our better players. Uh, I think Paul Lopez has to be considered one of our better players. Zaniolo was one of our better players, of course. Let's see what happens with the injuries. But look, man, I'm going to piss a lot of people off for saying this. I think Pellegrini, before he got injured, he was one of the key players that we had.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't like Pellegrini that much, man. But when he is playing well, the team has a different dynamic.
Yeah,
And I stand behind this. I think he's one of the better players on Roma,
I
and
agree.
I think that he was crucial when he got injured. It was really unfortunate. That's when somebody gets injured for a long period of time, it just sucks because it takes a long time to get into the rhythm.
Yes. For me, it's Kolarov. My best is color of the season, and I love Pastore so much. I
You
love
like
Pastore.
Pastore? You like
Yes.
Pastore? Oh my God,
Yeah,
you're one of the only people in the world, man. My God.
I like Pastore, but with injuries in Roma is
Yeah, right. I mean, he's a good player. I just he
yes,
for multiple reasons. Injuries, I think that like the fans don't have a lot of confidence in him, so it's challenging for him, but when he plays well, he obviously can make a difference.
yes.
You know what I mean? So what do you
Without
think?
injuries, without injuries, is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you how's COVID-19 been for you guys, man? Has it been crazy?
Now, yes, in the beginning, but now is more good. With no, it's more good now. We are
Yeah.
fine here in Tunisia without new cases and so that's fine now. And
What do
you?
you Yeah, I mean, it's getting a little bit better here. I live in Maryland right now, is a state, just outside of Washington, D.C., and there was a lot of cases here, and there's a lot of cases in Washington, D.C. Um, it's been crazy, man. But, working from home is not bad. And, it sucks to not be able to watch soccer, but that's a small problem right now. You know what I mean? Um,
Yes.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch the Coppa Italia. There's some big
Yeah.
games, Coppa Italia,
Yeah.
coming up. And then, the season's going to start, and that's going to be weird, but I'm excited for it. You know, I'm always
Yeah,
excited to watch it. I'm always
yeah.
excited to watch Roma
We missed
play.
that. We missed that. Yes. So,
Absolutely.
about Francesco Totti.
We should get him to come back to play, man. Some of the highlights that you watch from him, you know, playing futsal and kicking the ball around and chipping
Yeah.
goalies, man. Oh my God, what a legend, man! I love him so much, man.
I meet him
Such
in the. I meet him in after the game against Lazio in his club of futsal, and I was with him.
really?
Yes, I have pictures with him
Oh my
and
God,
his
man.
autograph. It was against Sampdoria in his club, Totti Sporting Club. So it was magic, you know.
Was he good? How did he play really well? Did he score?
Yes,
Of
yes. I
course he
have a lot
scored.
of videos. I have filmed a lot of videos
Oh
for
my
his
God,
game.
man.
Yeah,
He is it's just amazing, man. I can't understand how good he is and like
yeah,
why didn't I don't know. One more season, I feel like one more season we could have had with
yeah.
him, you know. Do you remember
Yes,
you know what goal really makes me like almost like brings tears to my eyes when he scored against Manchester City and he is the oldest player to score in Champions League
yes,
history, man.
yes.
And he chipped Joe Hart. What a goal, man. Come on,
Yes.
man. What
I
a
like his
legend.
goal against Inter Milano, the
Of
love.
course. Yeah, that was one of the games that we watched. We got together, a bunch of us last summer. We got together. We watched a classic game. Our friend had like a projector, and we watched that game. My God, what a goal! What a goal!
Yes,
So good, man. So good.
yes,
He has, if you're ever bored, you just put on Totti highlights. You know what I really like watching is I like watching just like his touch and his passing. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he could do whatever he wanted with the ball, man. It was
yes.
amazing. Did you
And
read his
he's
book?
not only a player for us. Huh? He's
Right.
not only a player. Yes,
Er Pupone.
yes.
Did you read his book,
No,
Un Capitano?
no.
Yeah, I got through half of it so far, but it's great, man. He's just, what a life, you know? What a life.
Yeah. And what about Daniele De Rossi?
What a legend, too, man. You know what I loved about De Rossi was like, he just became famous for tackling and grinta, you know? I mean,
Yes,
that's the kind of player that I was playing. You know, that's when I play, I try to be like De Rossi. You know, I try to every once in a while try to score, take a shot, but I love defending and tackling and getting the team excited. So De Rossi, man, what a beautiful beard too, man. I wish I had a beard like you have a nice beard, man. I don't have a beard like that.
I like him.
Yeah. Our friend, we went to Boston a couple years ago with the podcast, and we went to go to the hotel at night, and Roma was hanging out there. I got to see Nangolan and hang out with him a little bit, and my friend was looking for De Rossi, and he walked into a room at night, and De Rossi was getting his hair cut, and he sat down and he talked with De Rossi for an hour just about everything. And De Rossi was speaking in English, and he was talking about coming to the U.S. You know, there was a little bit of time where he was talking about maybe coming to Washington D.C. to play, or maybe New York, and then he went to Boca Juniors. But yeah, I love De Rossi, man. He just loves Roma, and so do I.
Yeah, yes,
So you gotta love a Roman, and he's just a legend.
yes. So before we finish this great interview, what about your best 11 players of Rome for all the time?
Oh my goodness. This is going to be
Yeah,
tough for me, man, because I'm probably not going to be able to name any of the super old legends, but all right, let's go with what I think right here. I mean, a lot of the players I think honestly I would take from the Scudetto, man. I mean,
yeah,
Battistuta, you know what I mean? Then obviously Totti, damn Montella, of course, Cafu, you have to put him on there. Um,
Candela,
what's that?
Candela, Candela.
Candela, you gotta put him. Aldair, you gotta put him on there. Um, let's
Zago,
see.
Samuel.
Somewhere, I mean, look, you could almost do the Scudetto team, man. I mean,
Yes.
honestly, I know that Dzeko has records, man, but would you change him out with Batistuta? I don't know, Emerson, but I would put De Rossi in there. So De Rossi, midfield of De Rossi, Emerson, and Totti. Um, let's see, no, De Rossi, Emerson, Totti. Okay, I would do Montella and Batistuta up top. Uh, let's see, who else? I would do maybe Cafu and Candela, and then I would do Aldair, Samuel,
Yes.
and I'm trying to think for center backs, man. I almost
Aldair,
want,
Samuel, Zago.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I
yeah.
I almost I almost want to put Manolas in there just because of the goal he scored against
I
Barcelona,
don't
man.
like him. I don't like him.
No, no, I don't think he. I mean, he was a good player for us, but look, even
I like
Benatia was.
Perota and Pizarro. Perota and Pizarro in midfield.
Perrotta, yeah, of course, man. There's a lot of good players, man. But I
Yeah.
think the only person I'm right now I'm having a little bit of trouble with is that last center back. Um, but yeah, so I'll leave it for now. Alisson, yeah, I'm seeing Alisson for goalie, man.
You put
Um,
Alisson in as a goalkeeper.
I mean, he was amazing. He was amazing for us, man. If he was there for a little bit longer, I think he probably would definitely be a shoe in. But I put him in there for sure. And the question is just who do we put in for that second center back? I'm gonna stick with I'll say Manolas for now, just because of that header goal he scored against Barcelona.
Yes.
Because anytime you're feeling down, you watch that game.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. It was great.
Oh my
Historical.
God.
Yeah.
It was I still I can't tell you, man. It's like when people ask you like where were you during that presidential election that night, where were you on that? Where were you on that night with Barcelona when they beat Barcelona, man? I can't even believe that game. That was amazing.
Yes.
You know what makes me angry though? That Liverpool basically did the same thing that the next year. It's so annoying.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
I
what can
agree.
you do? What can you do, man? They have all the damn money.
Yes. I
Yeah.
agree. So, what about your best moments with Roma for the time? Your best moments.
Hmm. Like when I can just think right now, uh, with the club, man. Because we've had this Roma club. It's been amazing. It's been like a family, and I'm so proud of it. The club that we've been able to do different things, and this year we raised a bunch of money for the COVID-19, and um, I'm so proud of a bunch of moments. But I'll never forget when that last game that Totti played, when Perotti scored that goal, man. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. I
It was
I mean
great. Yes.
I mean that Barcelona game is one thing, but um I was working that day, and I was honestly scared to watch the game after I saw 2-0. I watched the whole game a million times, but uh, when when Perotti scored that goal to put us into the Champions League, and it was Totti's last game, and it was against Genoa, and we went down, and they had that, I forget who the player was that was super young who scored 2 goals against us. I just remember like basically like jumping around, getting hit in the face. Oh my God, it was an amazing moment. And it was just because it was with the club, and it was an amazing moment.
Yes, I
But yeah,
agree.
what about you,
Yeah.
man?
I think all